Well, you can return the favor right away, sir. You promised to help me get into Maleshov.
I did, and I'll keep that promise. There's a secret passage leading out of Maleshov, and you could avail of it in the opposite direction.
A secret passage? That's a godsend. Von Burgov won't have an inkling.
He won't. It's well hidden. We didn't even know about it ourselves for a long time. Until Rosa discovered it in the fortress one day. She can best explain to you how to find it. She should be in her room. It's up the stairs. You'll see the door on your left.
All right, I'll ask her. Thank you very much, Sir Kunzlin.
Don't thank me yet. The worst of it is still ahead of you.
Nobody will be expecting me. The passageway is an advantage that works on my side. Besides, I've got my spy coat on, which makes me hard to spot. I can deal with any locks. And if I come across anyone, I'll take him out without a sound or a trace.
Well, it looks like you know what you're doing, and that you've done it before. I'll pray for your success. It would help us in more ways than you probably realize.
What do you mean, in more ways?
Isn't it obvious? We've been sitting with our arms folded until now. And where has it got us? We look helpless, and it's difficult to find allies. But if you liberate Lord Capon, right from under von Burgov's nose, the word will spread like wildfire throughout the land, and von Burgov will look like a fool, and he'll lose a strong advantage in parleying. That would help convince some of those who are hesitant about joining us in the fight against Sigismund and the Praguers.
You're right. I hadn't thought of the other consequences. And I reckon even Jobst hasn't realized. Thanks again. As soon as I speak to Rosa, I'll head out right away. I'll get Lord Capon out of Maleshov if it's the last thing I do.
You've no lack of courage, son. But you shouldn't count on that alone. Be careful. And good luck. I'll at least look at the books you brought. I'm very curious about what there is on Vavak and how he did it all.
I wish you a pleasant read. There's more than enough on him in there. Your father sent me.
So I can tell you how to get to our fortress. A task for the lowest lackey, wouldn't you say? Well, you don't need to answer that.
Right, yeah. That's exactly why he sent me. But how...
What are you staring at? Do you think I was born yesterday? I was listening to you from the top of the stairs. So, this passage, it leads to the cellars, but the outside entrance is hidden underground in a forest, not far from the castle. You can find the exact place if you know where and how to look.
Is it in a cave hidden behind a waterfall?
Well, no. But it would be nice. Listen, nearby Maleshov is a stud farm managed by Hashtal, an old friend of Papa's. We had a wayside shrine set up at the crossroads before the stud farm.
Sure. I won't miss it.
Wait, though. We haven't got to the hard part yet. From the shrine, you should be able to see a group of boulders. Beyond them are the remains of an old chapel. You'll have to find it, and then there's a kind of... how can I describe it? A window. A gap you can look through.
If it's still standing.
I hope so too. Anyway, it should direct you towards some ruins. Go there. And now pay attention. Somewhere in those ruins is a stone cross. You have to find it and look where its top points to. If you go the way the cross is pointing, you'll find another one, and again follow the direction it's pointing in. That should lead you to a small clearing, marked by a cross in the rocks. You dig there, and you should get to the passageway.
Shit, that's damn complicated.
Of course it is. That's how I designed it. After all, you don't want any old idiot to find the secret passageway to your castle.
True enough. But call me an idiot and explain it to me once more, please.
Maybe in a while. But first we have to discuss something more important. Getting into the castle is the easy part. Don't forget, you have to get out too.
You're right. Horses will be needed. For me and for Capon.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Fortunately, I know how to arrange that. Stop off at the stud farm I told you about, and ask Hashtal for horses.
Where's the cash?
No catch. On the contrary, please tell Hashtal that Papa is still paying for masses for his dead father, as agreed years ago. And even if he's not too keen, tell him we'll pay him for the horses.
You got it well figured out. Thanks. Don't know how I'd manage without you.
You've done plenty to help, and now it's our turn. Papa said something like that, didn't he? You know, you might not be aware of it, but you saved us from a mountain of trouble. Papa would never admit it, but alone, we wouldn't be able to resist the Mint Master for long. You've earned the right to the gratitude and friendship of our house for all time.
I'm glad I could help you and your father.
The pleasure is ours, but tell me, would you do it if you didn't need our help in return?
My lady, I'd help you any time.
Truly? In that case, you certainly won't refuse my request for a little service? But you mustn't breathe a word of it to anyone. Understand?
I'm listening.
I wanted to ask you, since you're going to be at Maleshov, if you could bring me something from there.
And what might that be?
A book. It has great value to me, and I was starting to worry it would stay there forever. But if you're going there now...
And what book is this that's so important?
It's hard to explain to someone uninitiated in the mysteries of writing.
What do you mean, uninitiated? I happen to know how to read.
Really? Mea culpa. You are full of surprises, so if you do find the book, you'll be able to read it.
Well, yeah. That's the way it goes with books.
In that case, I'm not going to make it easy for you. If you'd like to know why it's so important to me, you'll have to find it first.
Fear not, my lady. I'll gladly tear the entire fortress apart to find that book for you.
Restraint, valiant knight. I value your determination, but this way would give yourself away immediately, and I'd remain without my book. Find it nice and quietly, then come back.
Your wish is my command.
It shouldn't be hard. The book is bound in scarlet leather and inlaid with gold. You won't find many like such there. And take this, so you don't get lost in the fortress.
Thank you.
It is quite possible you won't get back to Maleshov again. So don't forget about me. And Henry, be careful.
What would you like?
The Rutthard sent me.
What's that to do with me? Those days when Rutthard was the Lord of Maleshov are over. I don't want to have anything more to do with him, so you can be on your way.
He sends you his regards. And he asked me to remind you that he's still paying for masses for your family, as the two of you agreed.
Sakra. Nobody knows about that but him.
That's why he told me. So you'd be sure I really did come from them, and this isn't a trick.
Well, that changes things. Sorry for being a bit hostile-like, but times are tough. A man can't be sure of anything. Good to hear that Sir Kunzlin still has a few friends left. Give him my greetings, and thank him for still honoring our agreement.
Sure. I'll pass that on to him.
So, tell me, what did the Rutthard send you for?
I'm planning a certain enterprise. Something that the new lord of the castle certainly won't be happy about.
An enterprise, you say? I reckon it's best not to ask what that might be, eh?
That would be wise. And I need you to get fresh, fast horses ready for me.
That's quite a lot you're asking of me. A fresh, fast horse don't come cheap. But fine, since you're from Sir Kunzlin, I'll have it ready for you. Somewhere a bit further from here so I don't get in the shit if things go sideways.
Of course. The last thing I want is to endanger you unnecessarily. And the Rutthards promise to pay for the horse if it comes to any harm.
All right. So look, here next to the stud farm, there's a kind of band of rocks below the forest. When you go alongside the rocks to the end, you'll find a wooded copse not far from the castle. There's a well-trodden patch of ground there, so that's where I'll have that horse ready for you. Hopefully, nothing will happen to him if I just leave him there. Recently, there's been wolves and wild dogs sniffing around here, so we have to watch out for the animals.
Thanks. I'm obliged to you.
You ought to be. I wish you the best of luck. I reckon you'll need it.
This must be the chapel Rosa was talking about. I was supposed to look through its arch for some old ruins. Well, let's see. The chapel directed me here. There's no doubt about that. So somewhere around here, I have to find a stone cross, and then go in the direction the top is pointing. cross in stone. This could be the place Rosa mentioned. I'll grab the spade and see if I'm in the right place. Tough job, but it was worth it. The way to Maleshov was clear. Now I get it. Those boards were supported by beams to hold the earth above, so there didn't have to be as much of it. Hidden and firm. Really smart. It's a good thing they did it that way too, so I didn't have to dig as much. An axe to deal with the supports and the planks at the entrance. A spade and bucket to clear away fallen earth and free up the entrance. Everything's ready for escape whenever needed. The Rutthards really left nothing to chance. What do we have here? A ladder? In an escape, it'd be enough to pull it up, and that'd leave any pursuers stuck. I just hope it can hold one attacker. What's this door doing here? Could it be another of the Rutthard's tricks? But if this beam is dropped onto those cleats, no one would break through in a hurry. I reckon with this, any defenders could hold off their pursuers for quite some time. This will come in handy on the way back. This looks like it could be the wall of the Maleshov cellars. There's no going back. This is it. All right then. Courage, Henry. Courage. You can do this. This is going to take a while.
And Rutthard and Liechtenstein are turning the Kuttenberg houses against us.
Vavak will deal with Rutthard. But Liechtenstein is your concern. How come you haven't caught him yet?
He's slippery as an eel. He's hiding somewhere in the Jewish quarter. I sent spies to track him down, but they never came back.
Flush him out of that hole of his. For fuck's sake!
Why such concern, Otto? Kuttenberg is ours. Sigismund has the reins firmly in his hands.
He's got fuck all in his hands. Sigismund thought at first he'd come to terms with his brother Wenceslas, clear the way for him to the imperial throne, and take the Bohemian throne for himself. But Wenceslas couldn't even get off his drunken ass and go to Rome for the coronation. And now, the glorious Hungarian king has fallen for Jobst and his damned truce. He's been taken in by that treacherous turncoat.
Jobst betrayed Wenceslas. Then Sigismund, and now us. He fooled all of us. But what can he really do against us,
I'll tell you what. While pretending to parley, he incensed the Hungarian nobles against Sigismund.
Surely Sigismund's army can deal with that inconvenience.
Ha! He was paying his Cumans by letting them pillage Bohemia. He set half the people against him in the country he wants to rule. And now, there is nothing left to plunder. While we are shuffling our feet here, Jobst is surely mustering an army.
What are we going to do?
We've got Capon. That'll keep Hanush and the Lipa people at bay. If they ever want to see their heir alive.
Jobst has Liechtenstein mustering other allies for him. We get him in our grasp, and Jobst will be like a fish out of water in Bohemia.
I'll drag him out of that Jewish den with my own 2 hands. Count on me, sir.
The betrayers of Christ, hiding a betrayal. They are rich. All that's needed is a good pretext.
The Kuttenbergers will be quite happy if their debts to those usurers happen to go up in smoke.
Yeah.
You're learning fast, young man.
The gate open. A horseman, sir!
Hanush is out of the game. The Kuttenbergers are taken care of, and we'll catch Liechtenstein. You'll see, my friend. Good times are coming.
Your Graces, King Sigismund is convening the town council, but first he requests your presence at the Sedlitz monastery, without delay.
What's all the urgency about?
Surely you must know that yourself, sir. The captives fled Trotsky Castle and killed Istvan Toth while escaping.
What?
That's not possible. That's a lie.
It is true, Lord Toth is dead.
Who? Speak!
The messenger said something about Cobbler's bastard and some outlaws.
I swear, by everything that is holy, I will find that whoreson, and I will rip out his heart!
Jesus. What's with that boy?
Sir Istvan was like a father to him. We better go.
Bring the horses!
Shame about that dog.
Eh?
What is happening? Who are you?
Quiet. If you make a peep, we're done for.
Henry?
Good God, Henry. How did you... What are you doing here? What do you think I'm doing? Hunting boar? Came to save your noble arse.
My noble arse thanks you. Oh, how did you get here?
I'll tell you later. Who's this?
Vauquelin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo. At your service.
Brabant led the defense at Kuttenberg. He's Sigismund's prisoner, same as me.
And I came very close to holding the town. Besides...
There's no time for chit-chat. He's our ally. We can't leave him behind. Right, no doubt you've got a cunning plan for us to get out of here, right? Well, let's hear it.
Of course I have a plan. Listen, I got to the fortress through a secret passageway that old Rutthard told me about. Von Burgov knows nothing about it.
C'est magnifique! Very cunning.
And so far, the garrison has no idea I'm here. We're lucky Von Burgov left the fortress along with Von Aulitz and some of the garrison. So I'll take you to that passageway, and we'll get out of here. We'll get to the forest not far from here. I have some horses ready there. We'll be gone before you can say the Lord's Prayer.
Formidable! I call that an elegant plan. I myself had to sneak like that once during the siege of Arezzo. So, what are we waiting for? On y va!
Wait. A passageway, you say? A dark, narrow passageway?
Well, it's just a passageway. There's a bit of water in it to wade through, but nothing we can't handle.
You can forget about it. I'm not going through any passageway.
What the fuck?
Let me repeat. No passageway for me. It's not the chivalrous way.
It is not chivalrous, c'est vrai, but in our situation, it is more than delicious.
Don't worry. Just trust me. Remember what I said at Trotsky? I won't allow anything to happen to you.
I remember. But if I faint or go mad in that passageway, I'll put you in danger too. And I'm not going to let that happen.
Now relax. We'll manage it together.
Henry, I mean it. You have to trust me on this one.
All right. I do.
Un moment. Henri? You said that Von Burgov left. Is that not so?
Yes.
And what about horses? Are there any horses left here?
I think there's a couple, yeah. In the lower courtyard.
Très bien. That will be enough. We just have to get to them. But I think we could get there stealthily. It is not far from the tower to the stables. Then you simply open the gate, et voila, we are gone. Just like I escaped when surrounded by that English dog John Oakwood. It may not be the best plan. It was not back then either. But we simply had no other choice.
That's a wonderful plan. No passageways. But we need some weapons.
Exactement. To have a proper piece of steel in my hand again. Preferably Milanese, although I would be satisfied with something local. Merci mille fois. Now I will show them just what a Cavalier Vauquelin Brabant is.
And what do I get?
I don't have another weapon right now. Hopefully we'll find one later.
Well, that's nice. Frenchie's got a weapon and not me. Did you forget who your master is?
It is the right choice. If there are not weapons for both of you, then the one with the most military experience gets it. Henri?
I'll go ahead and scout it out. When there's a suitable moment, I'll let you know and you can head out.
And how will you let us know?
Well, the stables can be seen from the entrance hall. If you signal us with a torch from next to the horses, we'll head towards you.
Agreed. Good idea. Wait for my light.
But you must be absolutely certain that the way is clear. If you have any doubt, do not risk our lives. Better to come back to us, and we shall go together.
True. And if we don't hear from you or see your signal for a long time, we'll try to make it on our own.
Précisément. We cannot sit here forever.
Right. Got it. I'm off. I have a weapon for you.
Finally. Thanks, Henry.
Horses are here. As soon as it's safe, I should give Capon the signal. Well, that's that. Now I just need to wait for Capon. Lord Jesus Christ, stand by our side.
Admit, mes amis, the last time I have had such a suspense was when I was rescuing the King of France. You're surely brave, and fortune favors the brave. Free at last!
Thank you for coming for me, Henry. You're a great friend. The best I could wish for.
After today, you may also call me among your friends. I, Vauclin Brabant, chevalier, aventurier et voyageur. I'm at your service, mon brave Henri. And I have an excellent idea. In your honor, I shall name my new horse after you.
Pleased to meet you, Sir Vacula.
My name is Vauclin.
Vauclin?
Vauclin. Vauquelin.
Vauclin... would you mind if I just call you Brabber?
Brabant. En
Brabant?
Que peut-on y faire? It will have to do. Do not concern yourself, mon ami. Clearly, you are not talented in the art of conversation. But at least you have courage and other skills. You carried out the entire operation truly brilliantly. I could not have done it much better myself. And look, mon ami, how the fresh air suits Monsieur Capon. He has finally stopped drawing in self-pity.
What self-pity, damn it? I was locked up for days in a tiny stinking room.
Ah, come now, mon cher. Luck was simply not on your side for once. That is all. Now we are finally free. The time has come for grand deeds. I did not waste my time in captivity. I fought everything over diligently. Listen.
Please, I'd prefer not to.
What's your plan, Sir Baron?
An heroic deed about which hordes shall one day be composed, similar to my feat in a famous battle of Arezzo.
Did you distinguish yourself in that battle?
Oui. Oui, mon cher Henri. When all seemed lost, I led a heroically desperate attack that ultimately led us to victory. For that, I was knighted. Opportunities for heroism await everywhere. One just has to seize them. What if we were to journey to Vienne? We could assemble a company and liberate Le Roi Wenceslas.
That would be excellent. If the king were to return, the nobility would definitely support him. Sigismund would have to withdraw.
Précisément. And what is more, our names would be sung throughout the kingdom. Undoubtedly, we would also earn a rich reward too. Then I would invite the best stonemason from France and build Monsieur Capon a castle that even Chevalier Hanush would envy.
You must be mad. You've been free less than a day, and you're already thinking up ways to get yourself killed. I'd rather endure Hanush's preaching about my incompetence than listen to this chatter. We'll see what happens next. But the first thing that I need is to get good and drunk. We should spur the horses on. God knows, they might be hot on our heels. Yeah! Christ, wounds. Such destruction and havoc.
War. Monsieur Capon, you have yet to participate in a real battle. But I fought against les Valaques at Naples, and les Anglais in Bourgogne. And that is how war looks, whether in Italy or La Bohème. It is always the same.
That's not war, it's barbarism. What value did this village have?
Eh bien, I would estimate 5 courtyards. Annual revenues could be perhaps, several hundred groschen.
That's not what I meant, Bacalin. No fortress. Maybe one fortified courtyard. Practically insignificant militarily. That's not how war should be fought. This is unjust.
Do not give way to sentimentality, monsieur. A village could harbor spies and saboteurs or supply the enemy, and destroying enemy assets is an effective tool of war. Wars are not decided only in battles. There are not even many of those. To strike in the rear, make the enemy lose and bleed. That is how most conflicts are fought. However, wait a year or two, the village will be settled. The population will increase again. That is how it always happens.
But we're the nobility. Our task is to lessen the chances of such things happening.
You're right, Hans. We must find allies and put a stop to it as soon as possible, so we can save as much as we can.
Yes, but we failed in Trotsky. And now this is our punishment.
I see that short captivity has turned you into a philosopher, Lord Capon. You should apply to the Faculty of Arts before the muse lifts you again.
Here!
I fucked everything up.
Oh, get up, lad. Everyone makes mistakes. Only a better man owns up to them. At least we know now what kind of vermin we're dealing with.
What brings you here? We just escaped from Maleshov, and right now
There's no time for haste. One thing at a time, my boy. Word reached Ratai that you pair got yourselves into a nice mess. I'm glad to see you both in one piece. So, let's hear it. What happened?
It's best if Henry tells you. I wasn't around for half of it.
No sooner had we spied Trotsky on the horizon than everything started to go to hell. We made camp by a pond with the intention of heading for the castle at first light, only we were ambushed by bandits in the evening. They killed all our men and took everything they could carry, including the letter for von Berghoff.
And how did you two manage to get out alive?
Just by a stroke of good luck. We were both in a bad way. We might not have made it if a local herb woman hadn't taken care of us.
Only after that, we couldn't get into the castle, though. We looked like a pair of beggars.
And the bastards treated us as such.
But you did get into Trotsky in the end, didn't you?
Von Berghoff received us and heard us out. It seemed like he was on our side. We even helped him out several times. Until we found out he was just stringing us along. It all came out after we set out with von Berghoff's men to deal with the bandits who were rampaging in his domain. The same ones who attacked us at the start.
Only they ambushed us and took me and Henry captive for ransom.
But it turned out these very outlaws are on our side. They're fighting for King Wenceslas on the orders of Sokol of Lamberg.
Well, I'll be damned.
So von Berghoff has been the real enemy all this time. And Zizka is actually our ally.
Zizka? Zizka? He's the captain of those outlaws. That name doesn't ring a bell.
I think you'll meet him soon enough.
What impression did he make on you?
He's an interesting fellow. Handy with a weapon, but also pretty tricky. It's best to keep a fella like that on your side.
He made quite an impression on me, for one. I'll be happy to see him again. But if only it didn't have to be in Rabors. Why Rabors? Of all the places in the world.
We're riding to a gathering of King Wenceslas's supporters. If fortune favors us, the future fate of the kingdom will be decided there.
If we keep standing around here gabbing about it, it'll be decided without us.
Patience, my friend. This pair have just returned from the clutches of the enemy. No doubt they have something to tell us.
Like how in the devil did you manage to escape?
I was helped by the Rutthard family, the former rulers of Maleshov, in exchange for dealing with some trouble they had with Ulrich of Raditz.
Ulrich Vavak? But he's the mint master.
Well, he won't be for long.
if it comes to light that he's been putting his sticky fingers on the royal silver.
It seems you've been pretty busy.
But don't forget to say what you found out from von Bergov in Maleshov.
Sigismund has convened the city council. Markvart von Aulitz will be there with him, too. The word is, Sigismund is going to make an important announcement there.
He picked a nice time for it. But at least he won't be sticking his nose into what's going on around.
Now, if we had one of our people at that assembly, we'd get Sigismund's plans nice and fresh. Straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
My very words. And I know exactly who to send. Young Lord Capon will go with us to Rabosh, but you'll have to return to the city right away, and try to worm your way into the town hall.
What? How can I get in there? I can't just walk in off the street.
You've got the dirt on Vavak, and you don't know how to use it? Just tell him either he gets you into the council chamber, or you get him on the gallows.
It's worth a try, right?
I hope that assembly really is important. If Sigismund is just going to announce an increase in taxes, there's not much point in my being there.
Well, at least you can enjoy watching the long faces of the councillors when they hear it. And don't worry, I'll eat and drink in Rabosh on your behalf.
If I come back and find you there under lock and key again, I'll leave you to rot.
Take it. I will go as well, and I will not let your friend out of my sight.
Hans? Who's this?
Vaclin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo, at your service.
He was a captive of Lord von Bergov's, like me. He defended Kuddenberg against Sigismund.
In that case, he'll be a welcome guest at Rabosh.
You don't know what you're promising, Baron. Watching Sir Hans is a job and a half.
The main thing is to watch out for yourself, Henry. As soon as you can do so without raising suspicion, come and join us.
He'll manage it, but now we really need to hit the road.
Safe travel, Henry.
Adieu et bonne chance.
And to you. Hopefully we'll meet soon.